Are you struggling to get your SBA EIDL 10K grant or any kind of SBA loan, the EIDL loan up to 2 million? How about any kind of free grant money or alternatives? Hi, this is Michael, and in this video, I'm going to be going into some SBA EIDL 10K grant alternatives as well, up to 150,000 plus EIN only funding. But before I do, if you don't know who I am, I'm a business loan broker expert who essentially knows how to look at documentation, analyze, evaluate it, and connect you with the best lenders and underwriters that are out there. I've been doing this for quite some time, helping people get EIDL loans, EIDL loan alternatives, anything in the funding space. And again, I've been in this industry long enough to know what's best, what works now in the market, and much more. So like you see on your screen, I'll be getting into some of these options that are alternatives out there to grant money, especially the EIDL, the 10K grant, which is hard to get right now. And some people are getting their money dispersed, but very much others, and the majority of, are not. So you're probably in this bubble right now where you're just struggling, you're just trying to get forward, but you can't get the money to recover with your business, or you need startup capital, or wherever you are in position to. I'll be going over these alternatives to getting free money as well, and some of the solutions. But before you see any of that, what I want you to know is that I also run multiple businesses that I've funded. Just so you know, this way that I don't give anybody and everybody just my business to help me. And you should be the same way. You should have somebody you can depend upon, somebody who is reliable, trustworthy, as in someone like myself. And I help out a lot of businesses. I'm not just here telling you to go click a link down below. I'm actually there step by step in the process on my back end, reviewing things. And the three things you need to know when you're looking to get capital, and they are credit, cash flow, collateral. I work with a lot of businesses and business owners on this, that you either have one of these three, two, or all three. And if none of them, we look underneath here and we look at business credit through trade credit, vendor credit, store credit, fleet credit, and I'll have more information of that down below if you guys want to pick up a free business credit building video series and see how to get up to 100,000, up to 200,000. That's tied to your EIN, not your social security number. And it's something that you can add together with other components. So it's not like you just have to be building your trade credit and that's all you need to be focused on. There are other ways as well. And I'm going to be getting into some of this right now on the share screen with you for this free money. So let me copy and paste this into this tab so you guys can see. So there's a specific service that I want to jump quickly into, and I'll have this document perhaps down below in the description. And if not, it's okay. How you get in touch with me, in case you're wondering, there will be a questionnaire form down below. You can simply go through and fill out. Should take you no longer than a minute, where then it'll land in my email. I will then evaluate it, analyze it, and give you a proper response back via email on your best funding option and options, thoroughly broken down. It could be this long email put together, and it'll be a great personalized and customized email at the top of an introduction. Then I break it down to what is your best option, usually the one in the top with the green heading, and I'll break it down detail per detail, what is needed and asked for at what time, documentation, application, and so much more. You will have no doubt by the time you're done looking at this questioning, well, this guy didn't show me this, where I think it's this. When you see all of that, because again, I know how to pre-underwrite files. I know what the best underwriters and lenders out there want. So let's go back into this document. Okay, let me see. All right. So down here, let me make sure I get there. So we have a program, okay? And I'll leave a list of grant opportunities before I show you this. Let me go through this right here. If you're looking for other grant alternatives, I'll leave this document down below in the description, grant opportunities for 2023. And this will be updated with the current year. So if you go through it, you'll get a list of them like grants.gov, Hello Alice, Connect to Capital, Deep Price, Home Depot grants, USA funding applications. There are plenty more, minority-owned businesses. And this will keep getting added to, grant funding experts and more funding help on what you could do, like micro loan opportunities aside from that. So now let me go back into this document and we'll cover this essential free money option. And just understand before I show you this, it is based more on credit. So for those of you out there wondering, well, I was looking for a grant, a 10K grant. I need something similar to it. Who can give me free money? That's all I want, Michael. And let me be very honest with you, because nobody else is, at least when they tell you it like this in front of a camera. And I'm an introverted person that does not like bringing this part up. But you do need to hear it for tough love. And this is never aggressive or negative. But if you're not working on the fundamentals, the structuring of your business, the structuring of your personal credit, as well as separating that from your business credit, you are losing out on a lot of money, even free money. And I'm going to get into that option here in just a second. But again, you either have one of the three: credit, cash flow, collateral, two, or all three. If none, then we look at trade credit, vendor credit. And if you already have some of these, we can work on trade credit at the same time too, to build out your business credit profile even more. But too many times I have business owners who come to me looking for free money, but they haven't fixed the root of that cause, perhaps because it's hard to get it fixed. And at the bottom of it here, it's personal credit. So perhaps your personal credit is in a position right now where it isn't in a state where you can acquire any kind of funding. But what will you do about that? That's the question. Can you fix it yourself enough in time to get the funding if you needed it in 2 months and 3 months right away? Or could you use a credit partner, somebody who can, a guarantor, somebody who can apply with their own individual credit? So you need to think outside of the box with these. And there's honestly no excuse for them, but we make those because we settle for less. We want to take the least resistance road. And that, if that means not fixing our credit to get there, people end up doing that. So let me go to this option. This is called the credit line hybrid. This option here, you do want to have a 700 credit on all three consumer credit bureaus. A less than 700 score on all three may work only due to high balances on revolving accounts. Then you may still qualify. You can get a credit partner, or in other words, a guarantor with at least 10% ownership in the business if need be. But this is a business credit card stacking program. So you can add multiple business credit cards on top of one another, like the Chase, the bank, the PNC Bank, a Truist, all together on top, and be able to use these and then be able to liquidate cash out of these cards, put them on a balance transfer check, etc. There are other ways of doing this. We'll show you. And we can also apply on your behalf, or we'll show you, hey, you have to go into a bank to build this relationship up with this person or with the specific bank. But what you're doing, again, is you're getting this free money for 0% interest for 6 to 18 months. Just think about that. It's not exactly a grant. It's not these other free opportunities. You're just trying to find shortcuts and loopholes. What's the next place I can go find a property that'll be able to help me get free money out of, even if I don't own it? Or you have a private investor, somebody who is ready to sign a contract to say, hey, I'm ready to loan you $150,000, but the rest of it, you need to show me that you can get at least $40,000-$50,000. If you're working on that, great. But you have to think about who can you leverage to get money from instead of looking for these only shortcuts. Now, that's where it leads me into the EIN only part. If you're only here watching because I said EIN only, then you got a lot coming, because EIN only loans, hard to attain. Maybe there are some credit unions out there that give you some benefits to this over time or in the beginning, but you're looking for loopholes. And the people who get only EIN only loans, it's rare. It really doesn't happen. And you're looking at a cash flowing business that's very high, profitable. You've been in time, you have the time in business for so much. You pledge collateral on the personal and business assets. And there's quite a bit more. And even then, even for the highest tier businesses, that's hard to attain. You usually have to provide a social security number to get funding. And if there's fraudulent activity, whether it was caused by you or not, or if there's none of that, there's nothing to worry about. Usually those come with a personal guarantee, rightfully so. You should be accountable and responsible. Would you agree with that? Be liable for the debt. And also, they look at an SSN to verify eligibility of who the person is, looks at the financial track record, the credit worthiness, making sure we can look at that credit to see if it's instilled correctly. But if you're hiding something, I think it's time to fix things. And how do we fix things? Well, you consult with somebody who knows. And I'm going to question. I'm going to ask you things. I'm going to say, even if it gets out of your comfort zone, and I won't push you at all. but I'm going to ask things to dig up even deeper to see what the underlying issue is. It's actually rooted in fear. It's an actual misbelief. It's a misconception. It's not even funding related. It's character related, or it's funding and character, or just funding related. And what is the actual issue? See, I get into these things, unlike a lot out there who you have to question and see if they're really credible. So let's go back into this. 1 second. In case I didn't show you guys that. I think I was showing you guys this option here. I might have been seeing the wrong screen, so I apologize for that. So I'm on StreamYard and sometimes I have to move tabs around. But let me go back into this here. Let me make sure it's on the right one. There it is. Okay, we are there now. So here, the credit line hybrid, as I was saying earlier, this is 0% interest for 6 to 18 months. And let's go through some of the qualifications. You already saw that you have to have a 700 plus to qualify for this specific service. Can you get business credit cards with less than 700 credit? Of course you can. And I made a video on certain types of business credit cards you guys can get down below in the description. I'll leave more information. But let's go back to this document. And again, I'll try to leave this for you down below in the description. So right here, the credit line hybrid program, it's designed to strictly get you funding based on your personal credit. And again, this comes back to if you don't have the personal credit profile, if you do need to work on your credit first. If I've designed a plan for you, especially that, and you have not done anything or executed on it, you're still looking for content out there that speaks and spews 100,000 views, 200,000 views. This video may not even get that, but it is very truthful. And a lot of people are struggling right now to even get working capital, to get money for doubling, tripling, quadrupling their revenue because they're not in position to. And there's many others that are. So just keep these things in mind and lock them down. And here, again, we can liquidate the cash out of these cards and you can use them for any investments. It's huge for real estate, specifically if you can't use your credit card to swipe and purchase property, and many other circumstances, as well as for all business owners. You can be in retail and restaurants. You can be in the medical and the spa space. Any kind of business can qualify generally for this industry or for this space, excuse me. So here it is, a little bit more. The benefits of this, there's a 24-hour pre-approval right here. 0% interest for 6 to 18 months. Business credit can also be used to help you qualify, but isn't needed. We can use your EIN. People ask if you need an LLC, an S Corp, a C Corp. It's preferred because those will go into an application, and you want to build the fundability details. That meaning your business address. Do you have your business phone number? Are you listed in the 411 directories? What kind of entity are you established under, a corporation, etc.? Because those help you leverage getting better approvals and higher approvals, and gets you in the door better, and it builds more trust, and more is going into the business on your LLC, S Corp, C Corp, but you can have an EIN number to help you qualify for these. So flexibility, you can use the funds to do so for what you need for your business. Even startup businesses can qualify. So it's non-startup, startup friendly. This is true no-doc financing program. Application to funding, it's in 3 weeks or less. No upfront application fee. Credit approvals are up to $150,000 per individual. What I see is commonly with the approval amounts, at least the first time around, I see somewhere between 25 to 75,000, 25 to 50,000 in a lot of cases. Second time around, it can stem from somewhere around 50 to 120,000 in some cases. So it just varies on your personal credit profile. What's your highest credit card limit? What's your lowest? How many cards? How many accounts? How many trade lines have you built? And we look at working it from that point of view. And we can do a soft approval. It's not a hard inquiry at that point, just a soft approval to look at your credit report and reports to then determine the best eligibility, as well as what kinds of cards and what we can do. And these can even go up to 250,000. And some of these, they can be EIN only when they're corporate credit, like the Brexes, there's divvies perhaps that may or may not work in all cases, but there are others out there. But it's hard to attain that unless you have that higher status in business. Down here, no collateral requirements, ability to use credit partners to qualify if needed, as I said earlier, no cash flow requirements. So no documents, no cash flow, true startup, non-startup funding. And if you do have a current business, and if they were to ever able to, ask for documents, then it is worthy because it can help you get better approvals. And if you demonstrate that revenue and what you've built already on your business credit side, that can help. But it's not always going to be asked for, not usually, and can help you build or improve your business credit score. So that's a huge component. For those of you out here wondering, can I get an SBA loan? I'm ready to get one. Where are you a startup? Are you a non-startup? What is the use of proceeds, or in other words, the use of funds for? So a lot of businesses are looking to get an SBA 7A loan that's currently in business. Let's say you're doing over 700,000 in annual gross revenue. You have the personal credit score of 720, and everything else looks clean. Your credit reports, what we asked for, but you have no business credit established. You're hoping your personal credit will take you over that finish line. Normally speaking, you got to have higher personal credit, like 800s and above, a lot of these 750, 800 and above, to then outweigh not having business credit. But we want to lend also towards the business. We want to know what your business has established. So if there are no business credit reports, you just set up a Dun & Bradstreet and with the other two main business credit bureaus, that normally isn't enough because we're generating a FICO SBSS score is what we call it, business liquid credit. So if you're a startup, you don't have business credit established. That's another angle. Yes, you can get an SBA loan, and I'm going to get into that, but it requires a little bit more down payment, total projection cost, total project costs, and a little bit more. So let me get back into this. Let's finish up with this credit line hybrid, and then I'll leave more information for you down below. But here, many don't report to the personal credit bureaus, but some will, depending on how under leveraged you are and what you do and don't have. Qualifications, as I said earlier, it does require 700 plus credit on all three consumer credit bureaus. The only exception, if you're underneath 670 and above, usually 680 above, is for high balances. We may need to use a temporary pay down loan, a very quick one, a short-term one, to pay off those high balances, or you only know how much is remaining and when you're paying those off. If you pay your credit card off quickly, especially on the personal side, that's best before all that due date is done, before the next month rolls around or at the end of the month. Try to pay them off as soon as you can. I'm not going to get too specific right now into due dates, statement dates, closing dates, and all these things, but just make sure you make your payments on time, pay them off early as you can. Credit card, 3 years old with a $5,000 plus limit. It must be a primary card. A minimum of 2 open revolving accounts within a year and a half of good payment history, under 40% utilization on all, not just one, but on all revolving accounts. Let me put this here in underline and bold. No more than 4 unsecured accounts open in the past 12 months. No more than 4 to 6 inquiries per bureau in the last 6 months, preferably less. No bankruptcies within the past 7 years. So that's huge. For a lot of people I've spoken to recently, there are a lot of bankruptcies, charge-offs, liens, foreclosures. And for then many, again, they don't have none of that, or it's been discharged and removed and completely off the record. It didn't last for too long. They got it completely removed. There's a lot of situations. You may have late payments that don't qualify you for it, and you're still wondering, well, can I get a grant? Like I said, if you're just joining me, I'll leave that grant document down below, but it's in your best interest to first look at this. If that's not in there, look for the questionnaire on top of that as well, if it's there. So look at that if you haven't already. And if you have filled out that questionnaire, I will get back to you in time. I do get quite flooded, which is great. You want an expert, don't you? You want somebody who understands this stuff, who can break down business credit, ask you the tough questions, and then determine, like a doctor does, I'm here to prescribe to you the best result and results. That's what I'm all here for. Just think about it. You're walking into your doctor's office. You go in, they put you in the room. I walk in, and then I ask you how you are doing, and I ask if there's anything new. What have you done? What have you tried? And okay, we know this already. And then I can ask a few more questions based upon what you mentioned. And I'm understanding where you are. I'm actually diagnosing things even better. I'm not just looking at the symptoms or going around them. I'm going and piercing through it. So for a lot of you out there just looking for that next free money, that 10K grant, the EIDL loan, the PPP loan, and wondering when it'll come back, I have bad news for a lot of you. It's just there's no clear indication of when it will and when there will be more money injected to help people even get their SBA EIDL loans that they're currently waiting for and approvals for. But instead of getting all this like, I want my 10K grant opportunity, or I want my EIDL loan, I want my PPP loan, there are other opportunities like this one, as well as another one. If you have W-2 employees, you're paying on W-2 qualified wages, you can potentially qualify for up to $26,000 per employee in a refundable payroll tax credit, And I'll leave more information of that down below in the description. People are going wild and bananas for it. And if you're missing out on this, I do not know what you are waiting for. What is holding you back from getting started with that? Free application. Just upload simple payroll and tax documents if you qualified, and then we can wait. We go to work with our team to review, to make sure everything was uploaded correctly, processing then the application, to then filing with the IRS on your behalf, getting feedback, reviewing and signing, and then again, getting your funds in time, your credit. That's what everybody's jumping on right now. So make sure to check that out if you qualify. If not, there are these options again. No bankruptcies, yes, we said this here. No open unpaid collections, liens, or judgments. This program does require a personal guarantee from you or your credit partner if you use one. No authorized user accounts for qualification, okay? No authorized user accounts. That's huge. That won't work. And I won't get too deep into authorized users, joint accounts, and all that right now. How it works in 4 simple steps. Step 1, you complete the form for a one-on-one consultation with the representative on my team. Step 2, you submit your application with a soft pull on your credit. Step 3, get pre-qualified in as little as 24 hours. Step 4, you meet directly with the credit line hybrid advisors and get access to your credit lines. If you're not approved, you will find out why, as well as what you can do to get approved. There is a one-time success fee of 9.9%. That's okay. That is due after you have received your access to your credit line. So it's like on the total amount that you get. It's performance-based. You're not having to spend $300,000, are you, for a membership? You're not spending $2,500, $3,000 out of pocket, whether you're paying at it separately over time and terms, but you're getting 9.9%, which is what a success fee is of the total amount of credit lines that we get you approved for. Normally is how it works in a lot of these cases. So it's relatively low. And so you'll see a little bit of that, why that is. So if you don't get approved, you don't pay. Best of all, you can use your new 0% credit lines to pay the success fee. That fee is also how the lenders compensate themselves by offering you a low interest of 0% for 6 to 18 months. Free money, guys. Like I said, free alternative 10K EIDL grant money here. It's just a predicament if you're going to work on your credit or not, if you're going to show up to do something. With monthly payments and terms up to 18 months. The amount that needs to be fulfilled and effort it takes on our behalf is something that you need to consider. A lot of people go, well, I could have done this myself and I could have done that. You maybe could have, but you wouldn't have got max approvals. And even if there weren't approvals, you probably would have filled out that application incorrectly or done it in a way that wasn't sufficient for what is asked for in this market. So there are many things you have to consider instead of your own thought about it. You have to open up to that. The amount that needs to be fulfilled again on the effort it takes on our behalf is something you need to consider. And the rates you get are usually better than anything else out there compared to the alternatives like personal funding and a merchant cash advance for one. And that's the introductory period. Afterwards, it depends on how you use the money. For those of you in here going, well, I got 25% APR. Tell me if I can't. So you're not using the money for good debt. You're using it for bad debt is what I'm hearing. So if you ever listen, it's like you got to use this money for good debt, not bad debt. And if you're not doing it correctly, there's a reason why you keep taking more money than what you can chew on. And you end up finding yourself again in this repetitious, vicious cycle going back and back and forth. So a merchant cash advance, for one, there's a time and a place for these. I'm not saying they're bad at all, but there's a time and a place for them. You get better terms and rates that can easily make up for this. By far, it's crazy how much. The fee is not ridiculous when it's unsecured, no collateral, max funding. You can maybe walk into a bank and maybe say you qualify for 10K, but over here we probably get you 50 to 100,000 with our resources and expertise, which is also why we charge that 9.9% success fee. You also keep in mind the benefit exceeding your repayment, and how you'll use these funds to potentially double, triple, or quadruple your revenue, and or perhaps save more and keep your business afloat, which keeps your repayments lower over time compared to other services. This is normal and it's expected. So I have another document that I want to open up here. You guys can't see my inbox because this is confidential information. So let me open this up just so I can show you guys a little bit more on this process. And I have quite a bit on this. I won't go through everything in this video that entails like what kind of cards. I have another video, like I said, down below that I'll link you guys to if you guys want to view more about how to get these approvals. But we can combine business and personal. We don't have to just focus on business credit cards. So we can work on getting you multiple business credit cards and get you a round of personal funding with the installment/term loan, a personal line of credit. So it depends on a few qualifiers, but potentially if you meet them, we can get you somewhere with business and personal between 140 to 180,000. Or if it was business credit only and you pre-qualified for any of this, perhaps 70 to 90,000. But if you don't have certain things that you need to meet, perhaps it's 50 to 70,000 on the business credit only. But if it's business plus personal, somewhere between 80 to 120,000. So it just depends. I'm not, again, getting into all of these business credit cards in this video. I'll try to leave more content for you down below. But let's continue forward. So here in this document, I'll have more information like SBA microloans, which are still hard to get. Grant opportunities, as I said here and what I mentioned earlier, harder to get as well. And if you're going to be spinning your wheels, just trying to get one grant after the next, yeah, you get an approval for, yeah, you got a high, but then now you're back to square one again. You use up that money. What are you doing with that money? That's my question. You're just getting your business started. Your business will not start generating the right revenue until 2 to 3 months down the road. Or what will happen? That's what you need to question, because once this money runs out, you're back again trying to find another grant. And I'm wondering why Sally or John here is going away from themselves fixing their own personal credit. And again, if it's something that can't get and you need to focus on a few things, a few debt relief programs to do something else, does that even make sense to do? Because again, credit repair is the fundamental of everything. Business credit, establishing the two. You can work on repairing your credit and work on establishing your business credit and putting more into that fire so you can grow even more. And your business is now separated from your personal. So back to this. SBA Community Advantage, still hard to qualify for those. Angel investors, equity crowdfunding, equity, more funding options on those. Venture capitalists, angel investors, other options. Fixing and increasing your FICO credit score, I have some resources. And then credit repair, if you're looking for my #1 recommendation, it is there. A very reliable service. You can read through this. I'll send it to you in the questionnaire, but more information will be there. Building your business credit, I have free content on that, like a free business credit building video series. You see here. Underline that. You can click there and it'll take you over to having opened another tab. I guess can't see that, but it says here how to rapidly build business credit and get access to over 250,000 in funding without being tied to your social security number or personal credit score, even if you're a complete beginner or have tried and failed. And you can just download that for free. And again, that's something you can pick up. Business credit cards. This is the content that I'm talking about. You can get 0% interest ones. There are other ones that are not 0% interest, Fair Credit, and a few others. But there's content here. Click here to see the 0% interest business credit cards. Over here, you have Fair Business Credit Cards. This is a great one of the latest ones that I made, and you can check that one out. And there's more underneath that. Home equity line of credit, home equity loan option there, 401k IRA financing, stocks, and more. Which, by the way, if you guys want to learn more about stocks, I may leave information just to get your free stocks and stuff like that. Additional stuff in case you guys were wondering about it or how to understand how to track that stuff. So SBA EIDL latest updates and help, employee retention credit program, like I spoke about earlier, the real estate submission form there, conclusion, and over here, like what I would recommend. And this is not all of the options, of course. When you fill out that questionnaire down below, I'll leave, then I'll show you even in abundance, but those won't even make sense. So I'll show you as much as I can from different lenders and organizations, but that doesn't mean you'll qualify for all of them. It just means, hey, look, you don't have to go everywhere, because applying everywhere and anywhere is not your best interest. Stop just basing it off of views. Well, Michael got only 100 views on this video, but this person got 10,000 views. You have to understand the history of the platform, the algorithms, how they work, how they send and transmit feedback, and what they're exactly looking for. People who have been on the platform ages before I was. And so it's not because they have more views or because in cases where I get more views, Is it as effective? Usually with my content, it is. Again, I'm an expert at this. I'm not just the glorified referral partner. I'm actually there behind the scenes working on things as well, reviewing things, making sure the application I give to you and you submit back to me looks correct and everything is done and completed correctly. So you're making sure you're limiting your mistakes. You're not going through any of that. So here, let's go back to this and we'll close up. And so for specific real estate investment stuff, there's that you can click on and you can fill out a separate one. Up here for the employee retention credit program, let me transition into that. We saw what we needed to in this document. This is what it'll look like if you land on that page, and I'll quickly run through it. So updated for 2023, this will be updated most to date, so 2024 and above, and it is running out quickly. This is something you guys do not, again, want to wait up on because it'll expire of April 2024 and April of 2025. There's an A to Z video I created here that's updated for the most current year. The application may look a little bit different as they do get updated, but everything is there that you'll need to. I'll show you. I'll walk you through the A to Z application. That's no cost. Calculate your refund. You can literally click there, go through the application, see how much you can qualify for, and then upload your payroll and tax documents if you do qualify. There's a readable version that may be here. This may be changed over time. What is the employee retention credit? Again, it's a refundable payroll tax credit. It's not a loan, designed to reward many businesses up to $26,000 per employee for retaining employees during COVID-19. The credit was initially signed into law of March 2020 as part of the CARES Act. The credit was then later expanded upon with the Consolidated Appropriations Act in December of 2020 and the American Rescue Plan Act in June of 2021. So there you can see a few things. If you are eligible, I won't go through all of them now because that's not what I wanted to make this video on. But essentially, this is free. I don't want to use the word money, but it is free credit. You can use it as you choose. So this is another option on top of the credit line hybrid that I mentioned earlier as an alternative to the 10K grant, to the other grant opportunities. You have this one if you have W-2, okay? That's what I mentioned there. And another one of these, not all of them, but if you have one of these as well. And a lot of people are going through it and are very happy. Experienced staff, why would you want to work with us? Fast response time, certified expertise. How it works in 3 fast, simple steps. I won't go through it all, but you see that there. I justify the fee, so you're not complaining about that. A lot of people, 10%, 50%. Like, you guys got to understand why it is, and that'll explain it to you right there. About us at Viral Funding Solutions, we've helped tens upon thousands and even more get the ERC credit and all types of financing, not just the credit, but everything else included through our exclusive partnership here, though, with the expert payroll management experts as your go-to destination for ERC as well as safe and secure alternatives, small business capital, fast and simple. I've literally helped fund a lot of types of companies we have and continue to share our best tips and secrets to getting funding so you can build, grow, expand, and even get out of that tight pinch. When the banks say no, we say yes, or at least they won't approve you, or you're doing something wrong, but you know you can get approved, that I can help with that as well. It's your money. Go ahead and claim it before it's too late. The ERC credit is projected to be around until 2024, if not 2025 as well for the current 2020 and 2021 calendar years when you filed and when you have those 941s. But it can literally be closed at any time. Look at what's happening with the SBA EIDL funding, the 10K grant, other grants you can't even get a hold of. They take forever. And even the PPP funds gone, and you'll lose your reward and chance to put the credit back into your business. Do you want to be that person sitting on your couch living in regret, thinking to yourself, what if? Or the one who said, I finally did it. I did not continue to waste any more energy and time on this. And there's more about me you can learn. I started like many of you in a 9-to-5 position, not getting paid what I was worth. And the person in front of me not wanting to retire in a financial logistics position. The company ended up going down under, and I was a part of a huge contracting company servicing HP and Peace Health. Many people, 50 plus from HP and other departments, got relieved, higher costs, higher budgets, higher all of this. And at that time, I had to go back on unemployment benefits. It was not a good feeling. Food stamps, I felt very embarrassed. I couldn't provide. In my younger 20s, I had to put this on my family, and I felt very embarrassed at the time. And so like many of you, I said, enough is enough. Do I go back to school and get another semester so I can get another degree? Do I go back and earn some more certifications, maybe learn a trade this time instead of sticking to the financial field? Or do I go ahead and start a business myself? And I went to school academically for sociology, played soccer, Division I. And then I transferred into a mathematical, and I did chemistry, and I got into from there. Chemical engineering was an interesting field that I got into. And then eventually I pivoted because of the market. I wanted to get into a business later on, so I got into business administration. But there's a little bit about me. I started my businesses, and like many of you, struggling to get the funding as a startup and as a non-startup, trying to find your way. And a lot of you are looking for loopholes. Let's be quite honest with you, and I'm going to end this video here. A lot of you are looking for loopholes. A lot of you are looking for ways of just mitigating, I guess, that risk. But the risk starts with the person. The risk does not start with the funding. The risk starts with the person. The risk does not start with your personal credit. Yeah, that's a moral and that's a character thing, because your credit shows us how well you've been able to manage your payments. Can you manage payments? What's your age of history? What is your credit depth? What is all of this? And so there's a lot of things you're struggling with. So before I go back into this, I did forget to mention one thing. So aside from that 700 credit score with the credit line hybrid, there is an alternative for personal / startup loans, an installment / term loan combination with the personal line of credit with personal and or business credit cards. And that can go up to 500,000 in a combination of the personal funding. We can do around up to 250, up to 350,000 in a lot of cases, and it can even be pushed up to 500K. And excuse me, with that, you have to have a minimum of a 680 FICO credit score. Experian credit score is what we're looking at exactly. But when we look at that at a minimum, and your credit has to be clean, and that's another credit-based program. It isn't necessarily free money. That's why I didn't focus on it in this video. But aside from the credit line hybrid with 0% interest for 6 to 18 months, that's free money right there. Depends on how you use it though. And then there's the other one where we can get you a lump sum by itself if you don't qualify for anything else, but you have a minimum of a 680 plus, and your credit has to look clean. And I'll have more information in that document you saw before. If not, you've already seen it. If not, I'll submit it to you in the questionnaire, and there will be more information there. So make sure you check that out. There's that option included for startups and non-startups. And you can be in a position where I have a lot of people come to me with a lot of different situations. Can it get done? No. Can this? Yes, it can get done, but you'd have to do this. Or this one, with this file, I go, yes, you're right on track, and we could project in a range of this amount. But for those of you who are looking for, like, I got money, I got to buy a property, or I got to do this, I need at least 300,000, and your credit is low, your revenue for your business is somewhere up there, but it isn't enough to get a down payment or perhaps for the whole property purchase. You're looking for things that don't exist. And it's like, well, you could get a credit partner, you can get somebody else like a cosigner, or you can get somebody who is willing to apply with their own individual credit. That's what I share with a lot of people, is if you have somebody, a friend, a family member, somebody who trusts you to say, hey, I want to let Glory, I want to let Sam here, I want to let this person get their funding, and I will be willing to apply with my own individual credit, which is a 750 Experian, 709 Equifax, 710 TransUnion. Good enough. Okay, well, we can actually do a credit line hybrid. We can do a round of business credit cards, focus on that first, and then get you personal. Or at the same time, we can work on those, of course. But the thing is, a lot of people don't have that leverage. You don't have somebody you can turn to and say, hey, they're willing to help me, or I don't know somebody who will. And that's a situation where it's like, do you have any collateral? How about a home? Can we do a home equity loan, a home equity line of credit? No, yes, we don't want to. Yes, we do want to do that. So there's all of these little pivoting points. But if you're just continuously chasing another high for getting another grant, I'm waiting for the 10K grant. It's 10K. If you were just to focus on your credit, like, I get it's free money. A lot of you may not even trust yourself to take money that you have to pay back. And this is why you're in the position you're in now. You're over leveraged. You have other payments. You don't want to have another payment. But let's bring this home and say, you have to find that opportunity cost. What are you foregoing to get your business in the position that it needs to get to? What do you need to cut out? And when I say the word expenses, many people think finances. Yeah, finances, expenses. Yeah, but you got to cut out expenses from your own life, from yourself. You got to trim people. You got to focus on things that are going to grow you, not things that are going to pull you back. So for a lot of you, you already have accumulated expenses, whether you knew this or not. The expenses fall on the character. The expenses are more than just, I have to pay 50,000 in market. You have an expense, a liability. Are you an asset or are you a liability? That's my question. What are you now? What will you become? Are you a liability to yourself first? Don't focus on others. Don't focus on me trying to help you get funding. Are you an asset or are you a liability? What column are you in? You can't be in both. Either you're an asset and you're going to appreciate instead of depreciating over time, or are you just going to be stuck in this position as a liability and just focusing on trying to grow and expand, but you're not focused actually on fixing the root of the cause. And so many people, when they come to me, they would have been in a better position had they have done this, or had they have done this more effectively with a certain company, had they have taken these first initial steps. See, there's a lot of woulda, coulda, shoulda. But how about this is what I will do now? Speak it in present tense. Not this happened in the past. This is what this, it's what am I doing now to prepare for my future? What can I do now? Not now is the time. It wasn't yesterday. It wasn't 2 weeks ago. It wasn't last year. Stop carrying that extra baggage. Where are you now? Where will you be? That needs to be the focus on many businesses and business owners. But a lot of people's frame of mind is, how can I get the cheapest amount of money? How can I get it for free? That's all I really wanted, and not have something that I have to pay back. And now there's a time and a place where that makes sense to just take on grants. But the approvals, like it's outrageous. Like not a lot of people are getting approved because there's competition, and not because of that. There's a lot more reasons to, and a lot of people get attracted to another grant opportunity. Let me focus on this from the SBA. How about, like, you're looking for something that doesn't exist in many cases. You're looking for a longer term with lower interest, but that's not on your table. It is on somebody else's. It is on John's, but for Sally, that won't work. So it depends on what you are trying to achieve for sure. But at the same time, you got to reverse engineer the outcome. And that's what I do for people. Your outcome, I get it's the money, but it's also how you're using that money for what will happen in your business. But reverse engineering away and detaching from that outcome, there's a lot of little coils that we have to straighten out. So those coils continue to carry on. And if you don't address the root, like the root is down here, but you're up here coiling like this. And so down here is where we need to come back. And that can be a form of business credit. That can be a form of personal credit. That can be another form of funding, another round where maybe you don't have to take a cash advance, but it's okay because that's the position you're in. So everybody's in a different position. You might find yourself in a difficult one or an easy one, but just know this at the end of the day. I never say this to be aggressive. If you've heard my tonality just like you did, it's because I'm not aggressive, or if I'm negative at all. That's not my character. It's because some of you guys really need to get off that chair and stand up for one another or yourself first and say, I am, I will, and I must. And that's it. And for a lot of you are just sticking behind the scenes, just trying to let that wave carry you forward when enough is enough. So once you guys really snap out of that and realize that you're in control of your own destiny, that if you don't act on something now, that'll carry on for tomorrow. That is extra baggage that you left for tomorrow that you can get done today. So why put that over the next day when you can get it done? If you have to put that extra rep in, put that extra rep in. If you got to make that extra mile, make that extra mile or get close enough to it. Say you tried, say you put your best feet forward. I don't want to hear about 1 foot. I want to hear about 2 feet forward. When I ask you, what have you done? What did you do in the last 6 months when I tried to help you? You went away from it. Why did you go away from it? Because I had family reasons. And okay, if that's personal stuff, I don't need to ask anymore. You can open up if you feel like it. And if it's justified, it's justified. But in that time, what you could have been doing, and you wouldn't have had to worry about much of that. So it's like everybody's in a position right now where we're all looking for free money. Let's look for the 10K grant. We're so attracted to the EIDL loan videos. We're so attracted to the PPP loan videos. And I try to make these with more of a like a more of a, you want a PPP loan, but you can't right now. You want an EIDL loan, but you can't. You can't get a 10K grant. You can't get the ERC, but you can get this. But what do I got to do, Michael? I got to put effort into this. I got to put energy, and I got to put, see, these are all excuses, but that's the reason why you are continuously looking for grants as well. And again, I'm here not for passing on any aggression. I'm not here for passing on any negativity. I'm here to speak the facts and the truths that it's time. So that's where I want to leave it at. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for tuning in today. I could have shown you a lot more on this. I'll leave information down below. I may leave the document that we went through earlier with the credit line hybrid and all other options that I did not cover in this video, but there will be more. But fill out the questionnaire. That's where I would begin. Free money, 0% interest for 6 to 18 months. Just imagine that, having that money in that grace period, that you can use it to buy property. You can use it towards expanding, remodeling. You're using it for putting a gazebo. You have extra customers coming in. You need more seats and more tables. Whatever the cause is, you have that free money to work with in that room. But making sure that after you're done with that 6 to 18 month introductory period, once that passing goes, you understand what it means to use your cards and those payments you'll be making on. Don't find yourself in a situation where you are taking on more than what you can chew. And I've seen it all. That's why I bring this up, guys, because you guys want to hear it from somebody who has those experience, and who does this with a lot of people every single day. And I know what I'm talking about. I see it so much, but a lot of you, again, you guys will pass this over and go, hey, where's that other video where I heard about EIN only? And I hope there's one. I hope there's one on this. I hope there's one on that. And I hope there's one here on that. I'm not trying to shatter anybody's dreams, but it's a false pretense and a false reality, continuously trying to fall for something and just continuing, even if it did work, okay? You continuously get another one and another one. And it's like, does it work? Does it not work? You're dependent on that. So work on your personal and business credit. That will take you beyond belief where you want to get to and getting better approvals. Appreciate you guys. Please like this video if you did find value from it. It can be, please like it if you did. Share it with others. It can be a complete stranger, a friend, or a family member. And if you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and do so and click that bell notification icon so you do not miss any future content. And once again, all information in the description down below to get started. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please leave them for me. What have you tried? What haven't? What hasn't worked? And again, all information will be in the description. I would start with the questionnaire to begin with. I'm helping out people every single day, and I have a very process, system, and automatic driven way of doing it. As an entrepreneur, business owner, running multiple businesses, I know that our energy and time has to be safeguarded. And if you're not even protecting that, you're letting everybody come in and through the door and do whatever they want and can do, then that is not the best recipe for success. Okay? Appreciate you guys. Thank you again for tuning in, and I will speak to you on the next one. Take care. Bye.